أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبله وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وأجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين سيما بقية الله الأعظم بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصبي حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال أمير المؤمنين في مناجاة الشعبانية: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبيدك لا بيد غيرك زيادتي ونقصي ونفعي إلهي إن حرمتني فمن ذا الذي يرزقني وإن خذلتني فمن ذا الذي ينصرني. Verse number 10 and verse number 12 of Munajat al-Shabaniyah, which is an amazing munajat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, highly recommended to be recited in any month. However, it is known as Munajat al-Shabaniyah because of the blessed month of Shaban. The Munajat of Shabaniyah is been prescribed by the asatid, by the teachers, by the scholars of akhlaq, to reflect upon, to recite whenever one feels like connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is quite important that we make ourselves aware of what are the deep meaning hidden within these munajat, so that when it is recited, it should not be just an exercise of our lips, but rather when we recite it, we should recite it with understanding. The Ma'arif of Ahl Bayt, the Maktab of Ahl Bayt is the Maktab, or is a school which promotes Tawheed, which promotes understanding God. The promotion of understanding Tawheed, the promotion of understanding God, the Ahl Bayt have used not only just the sermons or teachings or their actions, but also these are reflected in their du'as and munajat. Now, we have reached to the point where we discuss in our last session بِيَدِكَ لَا بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ وَنَقْصِي وَنَفْعِي وَضَرِّي. We have explained that we are asking directly God. We are asking and showing, manifesting, reflecting our understanding that my naqs, my limitation, my naf, my faide, my profit, my gain and my loss, and also my darar, wadarri, which means that loss, the profit, the benefit, the decrease, the increase, and the loss, zarar, loss, is in your hands. It is by God. Now, we explained that everything belongs to God. قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسٍ نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ, which is the verse in Surah Araf, verse number 177. What we left in our last program was that we were supposed to talk about the reality or the essence of shar, of evil. What is evil? Because the dharar and the loss and the decrease, yes, it is from God, but this decrease is a relative reality because of us. The loss is because of us. We regard it as loss. The evil doesn't really come from God. God is all good. Evil is relative. Metaphysically speaking, evil is relative. It's like, for example, saying that, okay, the glass is half empty. Actually, more than half, I'm sorry, I drank it. So the glass is, quite empty, for example. Now, I'm looking at the negative part of it, which is empty, and it's half full, which is the positive part. So I could say the glass is half full. which is in a positive way, right? Or for example, even look how relative this is. Being empty could be seen as a positive thing if the water is not pure, if it's not water but it's poison, for example, or if it's something that is detrimental to my calculation, detrimental to me, detrimental to to what belongs to me, for example. You see, so it becomes relative. So the evil is from my calculation. It's not that God have created evil. Na'udhu billah. It's not the case. I always mention this story. Some people doesn't like cockroaches. They are scared of cockroaches or mice or this and that and the other, right? Hazrat Musa alayhi salam went to Kuh Tur, to the mountain of Tur, and where he speaks to God, and he says that, "Oh God, why have you created cockroaches?" In return, God replied to Musa, "Oh Musa, what an interesting question you asked me, because the cockroach just asked me, why did you created human beings?" Right? So everything that God have created, it might look very sort of ugly, or we might not like it, and they might be destroying, we think that they are destroying our life. Actually we have taken over. We have built cities, we have built houses where it was houses for the mice, where it was houses for the roaches, right? We have conquered it, and they are still there. We have oppressed them in a way, right? So they will be asking God that why man is here, you see. So everything that God have created is according to the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the hikmat, according to a plan of God. The need and necessity of everything that exists is there. Having said that, there are many things that have come about because of our lack of carrying out the command of God. We have done things which have brought the calamity, the wrath of God, or the reaction of an action, right? We have done, like for example, there is a knife. You take the knife and you cut your hand. Obviously, it will bleed, right? So I myself have done that, right? Now we are blaming God for that, for instance. Nevertheless, as we said, that every power, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, whatsoever power, whatsoever there is, it is from God, right? But God have not asked me to cut myself. God have not asked me to do that. Then I suffer, then I blame God for that. God have not asked me to do zulm and oppress, to engage in war, and to create things that will destroy the ozone layer. The nature is a trust given by God to me, and I have not taken care of it. Now there is ozone layer, now we complain God, or now there is sort of these hurricanes and all that, which is become stronger and stronger year after year, which destroy sort of houses, which takes life, and now we are blaming God that God is zalim, na'uzubillah, because he has destroyed. It is because you who have not taken care of the atmosphere. It is you who have not taken care of the nature. It is you who have built houses in a zone where you have these hurricanes. It is me who have taken the knife and playing with the knife. Now when I play with the knife, and all of a sudden I might cut my hand as well, right? So evil is not from God. Evil is a relative thing, and we also have to keep in mind the outward understanding of it, and that is where it is pointing out to, oh Allah, everything is in your hand. بِيَدِكَ لَا بِيَدِ غَيْرِكَ. Ziyadati, increase of anything, it is by you, Allah, please. وَنَقْصِ, decrease, وَنَفْعِ, profit and benefit, وَضَرِّ, loss, Ya Allah, please. It is from you. Now, the next verse, as we said, we will talk a little bit about, the haqiqat shurur, the reality of shar. See, it is by our action. If I commit a sin, there is a reaction to that. If I commit a good act, there is a reaction to that. whether that be in this dunya, whether that be in the hereafter. It has a repercussion, it has an effect, so it returns back. Now, ilahi in haramtani faman dhalladhi yarzuqani wa in khadaltani faman dhalladhi yansuruni. Oh Allah, if you make it haram for me, who is there to provide me with the rizq? If Allah makes it haram, if Allah prohibits that risk to reach me, if this risk is to reach me stopped by God, who is there? وَإِنْ خَذَلْتَنِي فَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَنْصُرُنِي. If this help is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there is loss coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if khudlan, which means that if God just leaves me, if God just doesn't take care of me, then فَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَنْصُرُنِي, how this help will come if God have let me? All help is from God. So if that happens, if He just leaves me like that, as they say, raha, just do whatever you want kind of thing. If there is a child who wants to cross the street, he knows how to walk, but he doesn't have the understanding of make sense. If he's just left like that, that's what khuzlan means, to just leave it. Now he is crossing the street. It's very dangerous. A car could come in. So, ilahi in khadaltani faman zal ladhi yansurani, where that nusrat will come from, where that help will come from. It is from the Lord. Now, here there is help, nusrat, and there is a risk. These two have specific meaning in the dictionary of dua, in the understanding of ma'arif of Ahl Bayt. That's why Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam and their teachings are very important to understand, to really look at the beauty, the intricacies, the complexities of these things. It's not like, for example, a child also know how to read. CAT, cat, he know how to read. But for him, a cat is a cartoon with few colors, or on the book, for example, that is. But for someone who is an adult, a person who is have that sort of knowledge and understanding, cat, there's so many meanings behind this cat. The cat family, the different types of cat, the Persian, so on and so forth. Cat lover, for example, he would be like, have so much of ma'arifat of that, right? So the same way, in regards to God as well. God, one God, it's very simple, one God. Everybody says there is one God. But the intricacies and the beauty of God, right? Nusrat, help, rizq. Well, God is one, He's Raziq, He's helper, He's, okay, yes, true. But we need to understand what does really help will do, what does help, nusrat, really mean, what does rizq really mean. There's a difference there. Rizq is an emanation, it is an emanation which means ifaze, which means a phase, a favor, that comes from the Lord in regards to the rizq, sustenance of the dunya, and also sustenance of the hereafter. Manavi, rizq, spiritual rizq, and also physical or material rizq. Ilahi in haramtani faman dhalladhi yarzuqani. So when we are talking about rizq, it also have the meaning of manavi, it also have the meaning of maddi, material and spiritual. Both meanings are seen in this dua when we are asking. And it is a phase, it is a favor, it is an emanation, just comes out from the Lord towards the slave, towards the the mu'min, right? Now nusrat, which means in khadaltani faman dhalladhi yansurani,
nusrat and help is related to the kamal, to the perfection. So now you have to have risk. Well, there is risk, but there is no kamal and perfection. There is no sort of aid and assistance to really remain with that risk, or to really make that risk or take that risk to the level of kamal, to the level of perfection. As an example, the chef, he cooks the food and he gives it to us, risk masalan. Now I don't have the help of my digestive system to digest that food. The risk is there. The risk is there, but I don't have the help and aid to really, make the best of this food. There are certain things in that sort of risk which I'm not utilizing full. Certain vitamins, certain elements within me, certain sort of chemicals within me, certain elements or ingredients in my saliva is not extracting that vitamin that it is supposed to extract from that particular food, right? Because there is no help. Body doesn't have that. So to really make that risk reach is kamal. So how it is beautifully put together by Amirul Mu'mineen. We have to understand these things. Yes, we just recite dua, but Baba, understand. Ilahi in haramtani faman dalladhi yarzuqani. We are asking for risk, but we are not asking for the kamal. We are not asking for the nusrat. We are not asking for the help. So when we should ask for risk, we should always ask for the aid and help from the Lord. So he says, in khadaltani faman dalladhi yansurani. Oh Allah, if you stop, if you let go, right, then who will be there to really help me? Now let's reflect a bit upon the reality of risk, haqiqat risk, because I'm following the text of Ayatollah Tahriri, like I said, which is the commentary on Munajat of Shabaniya. Now when we look at the haqiqat, risk, haqiqat, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have talked about risk in the Quran, it says وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا وَيَعْلَمُ مُسْتَقَرَّهَا وَمُسْتَوْدَعَهَا كُلٌّ فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ, there isn't any dabbah, any sort of creature on this earth, إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا, but the risk of that little creature is from God. That famous story of Amirul Mu'mineen, a man comes with a jar and a little ant inside hiding behind. He said, you say that Raziq is Allah, now I have this ant and look, I have stopped giving food to him. Amirul Mu'mineen says, open that. He opens it, look close. When he looked close, he saw a particle in the mouth of this ant where the ant was trying to eat. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. There isn't any creature, any creation that has been created. The risk provider is God. So we have to keep in mind that the provider of risk is Allah. We might do left and right. We might do loads of things to really increase our business, to really increase our income. But we have to keep in mind that this risk is coming from God. If we believe in that the risk is coming from God, then the approach to increase of our business, to increase our risk, to increase our income will be halal. I will not be trying to cheat and increase my risk, because risk is from God, right? So I should try my level best. with the means that are provided, which are halal, and Allah is the provider of rizq. Allah will give barakah in it, blessing in it, right? So we gotta be very careful. So now the Quran approaches the issue of rizq, or the phenomena of rizq, that everything is from God. So there is a general rizq in general for everything, for everybody. Everything that is created, animals and insects and creatures and human beings and whatnot. Rizq is in the hands of God. But there is a special rizq as well. وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ وَرَزَقَكُمْ مِنْ طَيِّبَاتٍ. God says in the Quran, in Surah Ghafir, verse number 64, وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ. God have given you, made you a form, فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ, in the best form. God have made you in the best of its form. وَرَزَقَكُمْ, and provided you with the rizq, مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, giving you rizq from good. Those tayyib, good things, giving you the proper and good rizq. So there is a general sort of criteria or general sort of understanding of rizq given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, that all rizq, but at the same time God have talked about tayyibat, special rizq. Now obviously, if we reflect upon these, because it's very important, our deen, our maktab, teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, are for us to really open our heart. It requires contemplation. Our deen is an intellectual deen. It is not blindly following. We have to reflect. We have to contemplate. Tadabbur wa tafakkur, as the ayahs of the Quran and Ahlul Bayt says. Sa'at tafakkur. 1 hour of tafakkur is afzal, is better than 70 years of ibadat. So we need to reflect upon these things. Reflection. So now, he says, rizq minat tayyibat, from good things, right? Now obviously, for this rizq of tayyib to be utilized, the body must have the capability to really digest this, to really enjoy this, to really appreciate this. Right? So one must have that capability and capacity to really utilize, benefit from it. For example, if we don't have saliva, imagine that, right? Some people, may Allah protect us from all diseases. There was a person who was informing me that there was a man who does not make saliva. And whatever he eats, it was as if he is eating cardboard. No matter how hot, how chilly the food might be, how much chili in the food there be. No matter how sweet, the food is, whatever he eats, it's like cardboard for him. It doesn't make any difference. Why? Because the saliva was not there. Some sort of chemical reaction wasn't happening, right? How much can we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There is no limit for us to thank God. So now, tayyibat, they could be tayyibat, but we don't understand the meaning of what tayyib is. We cannot appreciate that. So it is in accordance to our capacity. It is according to us, right? So now, there is a general rizq and there is particular and special rizq. Now this general rizq is for everybody, and there is this particular rizq. Now how can we increase our rizq? One of those questions that everybody asks. Very important, pay attention, brothers and sisters here. Because Maulana Sahab, rizq mein izafa ho, hamare liye dua kare. Okay, good, we'll all do dua. We will all do dua. Allah, we say after the taqibat of dua of Isha, Allahumma inni as'aluka an tusalli ala Muhammad wa ali waj'al nura fi basari wa basirata fi dini wa sa'a fi rizqi, wus'at rizq. We ask God for wus'at rizq, but at the same time, the Ahl Bayt have given us a prescription. have provided us with a methodology, with a way to really increase our rizq. Now, how can we increase our rizq? Payghambar Akram Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that if a person is always in taharat, in a state of purity, if he is always in wuzu, from morning he wakes up, as he washes his face, brush his teeth, he make wuzu after that. He is on wuzu, taharat, right? In a state of taharat, in a state of purity, will increase rizq. Before going to sleep, he makes wuzu. Now, we are talking about rizq manavi, and also we are talking about rizq, dunyavi. Both type of rizq we are talking about. So, rizq manavi and rizq dunyavi. Now, after this, it's very important that I wanted to mention this. Alhamdulillah, I got reminded. Ghusl. It's very important, brothers and sisters, that one pay attention to this act of ghusl. Sisters, when they come out of menses, they have to do ghusl. I know, unfortunately, these TV programs are not really watched by many, those who have sort of urge, those who are dini, religious, who will watch this channel, who's always watching, different sort of, TV programs, Grammy Awards and music videos or shows, soap operas and stuff like that. They will not really watch a religious channel, but please extend this. Every family have some people who are, very religious, pay attention to ghusl and wuzu and this and that and the other. Some people, they don't really do, or some people are in between. Sometimes they do, sometimes they pray. Taharat, purity, brothers and sisters, extend this to those who are not geared towards deen. Taharat is very important. Okay, you might not do your wajib prayer, but when you have come out of periods, menses, do ghusl. Do ghusl properly. Yes, you might put nail polish, but when you are doing ghusl, know the ahkam of ghusl. Because state of purity will not attract evil spirit. A person who knows, okay, people who are non-Muslim, they are unaware of ghusl. They don't know about it, right? They will not be in a position to face the evil spirits. But people who are Muslim, people who are aware of paki, of taharat, they will be questioned. They will face sort of, evil spirits. So it's very important. All of these problems that we get into of jinn and this fear that comes in our heart is mostly because we don't pay attention to taharat. There is a woman who doesn't do ghusl after menses. She's in the state of impurity. Obviously, when you are in a state of impurity, your soul is on a very low wavelength. When it is on a very low wavelength, it will attract all of those evil spirits. It will bother them. And it's a gradual thing. It's not like, oh, okay, only once it happened. It's years. It takes many years. Eventually, it will end up having some issues, for example, right? So taharat, purity, is very important. An-nizafatu min al-iman. Nazafat is from that iman. It's very, why would the Prophet say, clip your nails? Because shaitan grows under the nail. Shaitan does not like, some grows under. It's about purity. Things that, that are evil, that are detrimental, that is not good for you, is a shaitan. Aduwwun mubin. Shaitan is the staunch enemy. Now, obviously, whatsoever brings us nuqsan, right, it is shaitan, right? So these sort of shirk and all dirt that comes in, and then if you chew and it creates a bacteria and it hurts us, that is kind of have that shaitani element to it. That's what it means, right? Shaitan is not like, like a huge Hulk or a giant or something like that, It could be little things. Whatever does that is detrimental to insan. So purity and nizafat, ghusl, wuzu, these things are important. And the Prophet have said that now in regards to risk will increase. Give sadaqah, charity, a lot. This will increase your risk according to the Prophet. Amirul Mu'mineen says, helping your brother will increase your risk. Any type of help. Help always doesn't mean that you give money. No. Help means that, okay, you have a friend, you call him, okay, I'm coming, I need, to do this, for example. Now just this example, I call the brother here in TV station, I didn't speak to him last night. I just tell him, okay, I'm coming, Zain, now, for the recording in the morning. I haven't informed him. Well, he might be busy, say, okay, come over. That is help. That is help. Any type of help, right? Opening the door for your brother, that is help. Little thing counts, right? Just speaking on the phone, he calls you, he's feeling a bit low, he's bored a bit, okay. Answer his call, speak to him. That is also help. But we have to be careful what type of speech. He's calling to do gossip, he's calling to complain. Okay, we listen, he's in trouble, but we kind of, give him the strength and try to make that speech a tayyib, a good speech, a good speech. Now, giving sadaqah, helping a mu'min brother, fulfilling of the amanat. If somebody have given you something, an amanat, a trust, we have to make sure that this amanat is taken care and it reaches its place. That increases the risk. Having good intention increases the risk. Just the intention. Good intention increases the risk. You see an aeroplane flying. Oh Allah, may Allah make all people who are traveling reach their houses safely. Good intention. Just dua. Just having pure intention, good intention. When you are sitting in the plane, don't you want to reach your house? The way you want to become happy when you reach your house, when you are maqsad, have the same for your fellow brother. We see so many aeroplanes flying, and now these days we hear this accident and that accident happened. Good intention. There's a flood there, doing dua. There's a dua of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in Sahifa Sajjadiya, where he used to see the clouds and the rain. He would recite this dua so that one is protected from the evil, from the loss of this. Reciting this dua. If you were stuck in there, how will you feel? One of my cousin is stuck. Now he's in the office. He cannot go home for 3 days now. He cannot go back to home to his children because it's flood there, right? Imagine if I was there, far away, I don't know what will happen, right? Good intention and prayers will increase the risk. Now obviously the risk manavi and also the risk maddi, maybe somebody is 94-year-old and he might live 6 months. Oh Maulana, you said good intention increase the risk. Every day I'm making good intention so that my food increases, I live longer. No, risk manavi and risk maddi, both. Yes, you will have the maddi risk increase as well, and also manavi. Now what is manavi risk? I will do it a little bit later because I want to point out to the things that will increase the risk. Giving zakat increases the risk, right? And then you have good akhlaq increases the risk. Doing good increases the risk. So these are the things that comes from Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam that increases the risk. working for your family and not regarding that as sort of, I have done this. That increases the risk. Because many a times we do something and we destroy it, by saying that, you were little, I did that for you, I did for you, what you have done is gone. It says a minnat, minnat guzashtan in Farsi, as they say, kind of counting the favors that one have done towards the friends, towards the family members. That is not right. If one does not do that, then the risk will increase. One, should really not count that at all, right? Only God have the right to do that, right? Because He is the sole owner of all the favors. We are nothing. The favor that we have done is from God, not from me. What I have done, if you look at really, look at your children. Yes, you are the father, you are the mother, but what have you done really to make him 6 feet tall? To really make him, like a person who is working, who is doing things, who is going in sajda. Have I really done anything? Do I have that power to really stretch him to 6 feet or 2 feet or whatever, to walk and talk and, am I have done anything? It is Allah who have done it. Right? So how will I say that, okay, I am the one who, because of me, you can walk today. Baba, God can. لَقَدْ مَنَّنَّاهُ insan. Allah can do that, because that kamalat, that perfection, is from God. It doesn't, take anyone else. It doesn't, this kamalat and perfection and favors is not from someone else. It's from Himself, from His Zat. But what I have done, it is not from me. I am nothing. Ya ayyuhal insan, antumul fuqara ila Allah, inna Allah ghaniul hamid. I am faqir. Insan is faqir. He is nothing. It is from God. So these things have to really come in us, in our wujud, in our understanding, in our soul. Yes, it is not an overnight thing. It will not happen in one night. I myself might be speaking, might be aware of these things, but when it comes to practice, I fall, I get trapped, I forget, I become ghafil. All of these things happen, but reminder, as the Quran says, فَذَكِّرْ إِن نَفَعَتِ الذِّكْرَ, remind, and there is faydeh in the zikr, in tadakkur, in reminding. There is a lot of faydeh. That's why we sit 5 times a day, 10 times in tashahud every day. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Tadakkur, reminder, there is no God but God. Prophet is the Abd and Rasul. Muhammad is Abd and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So increase of risk is helping the family, aiding the family, but at the same time not regarding these favors that come from us and telling them, for example, I have done this, I have done that. May Allah forgive us all for that. Now, types of risk, as we said, there's a risk manavi and there's a risk maddi. Now, in regards to risk manavi, Hussein, Imam Hussein, risk manavi, you are 94, you are 80, you are 40, you are 23, whatever age. At the same time, there is another person who is 23, 24, 90 or whatever. You know Hussein, but he doesn't know or she doesn't know Hussein. How lucky you are to have that love of Hussein in your heart. To love Ahl Bayt, to know Siddiqa Kubra Fatimatu Zahra Salamullah alayha. These are all rizq manavi. But some other person, he is also good, she is also good. I'm not saying they are bad, but they are good people. They are good human beings. But at the same time, there is a mu'min, there is a believer who is also good in the same amount, for example, right? But this mu'min is aware of Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. This mu'min knows Hussein. This mu'min, when he hears Ali Asghar and how he was slain, he cries. Rizq manavi. If that risk is given to that good person as well, same thing will happen. He will also, because he is a good person. But rizq manavi is not given to him. Rizq manavi is given to you, right? According to the capacity, as it says that, rizq, وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ وَرَزَقَكُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, right? So therefore there's a rizq manavi. Now in regards to, there are darajat, there are levels of rizq manavi as well. There is, just like this vessel, this is contain 200 milliliter of water. But there is a bigger, when you go to coffee shop, you say, you want medium, you want tall, you want, big or whatever, different cups, which have different sizes, which contains, because of what it contains. So the same way, rizq manavi also have different levels and understanding. So our journey is increasing of our rizq as we go along on this path to know God, to know Tawheed. Tawheed, understanding of Tawheed is the biggest rizq manavi. And Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam are the provider of this. وَبِيَدِهِ رُزِقَ الْوَرَى. That's what we recite. It is from their hands. Fuyuzat comes. They are the one who is able to change the destiny of insan, of human beings. Ziyarat Rajabiyye. Just like how sun comes and the day will be there. Sun is giving that day. Yes, it's Allah, no doubt. But how they have come through that. Everything is from God. Who denies that? The question is, it is coming from whom? And appreciating where it is coming from, the vessel, right? If it was not Rasulullah who had the capability and the heart and the strength to bring the Quran, we will be mahroom. We are blessed because of Rasulullah, because of the Quran, right? And the same way God also says that, if you want to return the favor, mawaddata fil qurba. We have to really do that. And that will increase our kamalat and our perfection, our rizq will increase. So we have the rizq manavi, rizq maddi. Rizq manavi, once again, is a journey. It's, a person could be 94, 100 or whatever, but there is a rizq. Rizq is provided to him. Bal ahya inda rabbihim yurzaqun shuhada. They are alive. They have died, but rizq manavi they have. Rizq manavi of understanding Tawheed. Our all purpose is that in this dunya to increase our understanding of our Lord. I might become 60 years old, but I don't have the understanding of my Lord. I don't have rizq. But there could be a 23-year-old who have gone to save the harams of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam, have sacrificed his life. Ahya, he is alive. Rizq manavi is given to him. Right? Then, for example, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in tansurullah yansurukum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. And there is aid and help as well. As we talked about rizq and nusrat, the same way. There is nusrat, which is nusrat manavi, nusrat maddi, the same way. Wa rizqu rabbika khayrun wa abqa. The rizq that comes from the Lord, khayrun, is the best, and it is abqa, it will be baqi. The rizq manavi will always be there, and we will be needing this rizq. we will be needing this rizq on this journey in barzakh, on this journey on sirat, on this journey when we'll be raised from the grave. That's rizq manavi. Now, in khadaltani faman dalladhi yansurani, I think we have reached to the maximum amount of time that we are supposed to give. Inshallah, we'll continue our next program. That what are those things by doing our rizq is shortened, the rizq cuts. And then inshallah we will look at number 12. Ilahi a'udu bika min ghadabik wa hulule sakhatik. Inshallah. Ghafar Allahu lana wa lakum wa salamun alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.